Hey everyone, Rua here with the next installment in the version update editorial series. Now, this series is going to be going on a little bit longer than I first thought it would, since the developers have come out and said that we're going to be getting job updates every month for quite some time. I can cover most of the jobs when they come around, but the ones I can't, I'll be getting help from my friends in-game to convey what their changes actually entail when they arrive. The January update was not as substantial as the December update, but there were some good bits in there for players of Dragoon and Dancer. Let's get into exactly what happened. Let's start with Dragoon. The change to Dragoon was long overdue. Ever since they were added back when the level cap was raised, Spirit and Soul Jump were made to share their reuse timers with Jump and High Jump. This has been undone at long last, and a Dragoon now has 4 offensive jump abilities available rather than just 2. This is actually a big deal for the job, as previously a Dragoon would have had to have chosen between more TP and damage with Soul Jump, or hate reduction with High Jump. Now they can do both. Jump also serves as a nice extra TP spike when needed, and also gives Mythic users something to rejoice, as the Ryo no Hige's effect only works on it and High Jump. In a practical battle situation, this change means that a Dragoon can afford to be even more reckless with their damage dealing, without having to resort to Super Jump to shed hate when things get too dangerous, and they really need their target back on their tank. Super Jump is useful for evading massively damaging attacks, and for ensuring that all hate is lost instantly, but since it takes the Dragoon out of the battle for 5 seconds, it is ultimately a DPS loss. Super Jump is still there if all else has failed, but High Jump's timer being freed up has helped alleviate this problem. Jump timers being separated is also a boost to damage output, as it gives a Dragoon 4 buttons, 5 if you count Spirit Link, it can hit to get itself extra TP in a pinch. Spirit and Soul Jump will always be superior for TP gain, given how they work with your Wyvern being with you, but Jump and High Jump also aren't bad provided you have a good set and if they score a multi-attack, which is again a good boost for Mythic users with AM3 up. The change has also made it so the jumps can be used in succession during Fly High. Fly High still imposes a 7-second cooldown on jumps, so you couldn't chain your jumps back to back. Now you can since the timers have been separated. Overall, the Dragoon job changes are a great adjustment for keeping the Dragoon alive, and for increasing damage output. Let's talk about Dancer's changes now. I don't have Dancer leveled, but I have grouped with good ones enough to have a solid grasp of how the job works. The first change is that waltzes are no longer tied to the same reuse timer. They all have their own timers now. I can see this being useful especially during trance, when a Dancer can use waltz 4 and 5 back to back, or use divine waltz 1 and 2 if there's a serious need for quick AoE healing. The thing that's really stood out for me is that Presto now progresses a daze even further, to the extent that 2 Presto steps will fully cap out a daze at level 10. That's a direct increase to damage output, since Box and Feather Step capping out faster means more damage dealt for the entire group. It's also an indirect increase, since the Dancer will spend less time using more steps to cap out the daze, when Presto can do it in 2 uses. Presto also gives more finishing moves following this change, so a Dancer will be able to power up Climactic and Building Flourish, or whatever flourish they choose to use, even more so than they did before. Like I said, I don't know the intricacies of Dancer too well, but it's a job I've been fond of being in groups with, so I'm glad it got some attention. That just about wraps this video up. According to the developers, one of the next jobs to get adjusted next month is Red Mage, so I'm really keen to get onto that one. I'll be putting out a short follow-up to my monk guide sometime in the coming days, before finally getting Blue Mage's job guide done. You've been waiting for that one for a while. I'll see you then.